Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Pitch International with me, Darius and Unchanged. Today's the 12th of July, 2023. So, yeah, welcome, everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'll leave this little left corner in there for a bit, and I'll be back in a few seconds. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us, guys. So, yep, if you have any questions, just reach out to us. Now then, guys, let's jump into the charts. The first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225, as always. So, yep, as you can see, we are holding nicely, it's like kind of near this first of all, 50-day EMA, and this this kind of lower side of the broadening wedge pattern or something like, or broadening triangle pattern. So look, don't really focus on this too much. I mean, at the moment, it's just maybe it's a coincidence that it's working out nicely. But what I'm curious about is, of course, this upside line drawn from the low of the 15th of March. And if that continues to provide good support, then maybe, yes, a nice rebound back up here could be possible. So I'm just sticking to the same game plan. I'm not really doing much here on Nikkei. And to be honest, we don't have much data from Japan this week, so it's a little bit on the quiet side. So yeah, like I said, let's keep it short and simple for now. It could present itself with a nice opportunity later on, but at this point, I think it's best to just kind of leave it here. If it starts breaking this upside line, great, more sellers could join in, and potentially we could see this one dragging all the way down here towards the towards this 100-day EMA. But of course, step by step, slowly, let's see where this is going to lead us to. ASX 200. So there we go. A nice reversal, a strong reversal back to the upside. And yes, partially the fact that there was some positivity that we saw in the US yesterday, so it kind of rolled into the Australian session, but also the Reserve Bank of Australia came out saying that they're gonna reduce the amount of meetings times that they meet in the year. So basically, going from 11 to 8. But they're saying that they're going to make those 8 meetings a little bit longer, kind of stretching over 2 days. So that's starting from 2024. So in a way, this is done in order to kind of, help analyze the market a little bit better, help to, give a little bit more time for the market to adjust maybe, and then, come out with some sort of policies, maybe aggressive, maybe not aggressive, something like that. So it's what they're saying is from that perspective. Okay, will that work? Of course, you never try, you never know. But okay, let's see how that's going to work out in the next year. It's going to be quite interesting, to be honest. For me, the interesting bit is that will other central banks follow that? Maybe they'll say, "Hey, this is a nice approach. Let's do the same thing. So let's kind of minimize our work time." So, sorry, maybe not. Maybe they're doubling on the days they were working. So. Okay. In general, you can't say anything against it because, again, maybe this will prove to be quite quite a good solution. Maybe it will, minimize that volatility, I would say. However, maybe it'll allow just to purely to, for the market to dictate the rules. But again, time will show, time will tell. The only thing we can do right now is just, okay, if they decided that, fair enough, and we can only now just see if we can, you know, what kind of outcomes it will bring. But at this point, looking at the technical picture of ASX 200, I can see that we pushed above the 7,064 territory. So I talked about this one, and I mean, in general, I said to you that if we do push back above the 7,000 territory, then yes, I will. Excuse me. I will go a little bit higher, aiming initially for the 7,064 zone, and then for the 7,121.25 area, approximately around here. This is my next target. I'm still leaning towards it. I want to see if we're going to get a bit of a hold up here or not. If not, then yes, of course, the next target is still this downside line together with the 100 and the 100, the 200, and the 50-day EMAs right here. So S&P 500. So the big day, guys. The big day. Yeah, the big day today. Guess what? Guess what it is? Well, it's the CPIs. Yes, so the US CPIs are coming out today. Everybody's like, you know, looking forward to them because again, everybody needs some sort of a market mover and to kind of you know, see if the Fed will continue with the rate hikes, because again, the big question right now to everybody is that are the other like moves or other increases are needed? Are other increases are needed? Are they needed? Basically, there we go. That's the correct grammatical way of saying it. So are those needed? Those increases that the Fed recently, you know, started talking about, that they're gonna, you know, more rate hikes are required and blah blah blah. Whereas inflation is already declining quite rapidly, I would say. So yes, it's good, you know, that inflation is going down. That's fine. That's kind of in term, like within the target, because their target is around 2%, something like that. But now the question is, like, what's going to happen further? Because look, the previous reading was at 4%. So that was already quite a decent decline, but I think it went from 5 or something. Let me just double check very quickly. I think it went from 5, 4.9. Yeah, the previous one was 4.9, came out at 4. That was quite a decent move. I mean, I would say almost by 1%. And now, even now, the expectation is almost for like something like almost 1%. So 3.1. So the forecast is for a plus 3.1 from 4. So okay. I mean, this is the thing. Yes, it's good that inflation is coming down. Is it gonna bring deflation? It could. Then there will be another headache. So, you know, but again, it's always about balancing. Of course, it's as always as it is, you know. So it's always about balancing stuff. So let's see. Again, the only thing is what we can do right now is, you know, we can see, we can wait, we can see the outcome, you know. And this is the problem with humanity. I think everybody will start. You know, this is when you should have, you know, you should have done it this way, and you should have done it that way. And they, you know, once after, like post factum, yes, everybody's like a smart ass. But you know, before that, how to deal with that, somebody has to take the hit. And I think that the Fed, is the one who's taking the hit right now, together with the other central banks. Not let's say, how to say it, judging them or supporting them or anything. No, I'm trying to be neutral. I'm trying to approach the everything from the logical perspective. And at the moment, yes, I mean, they're okay. They're doing what they're doing. Is it right or is it wrong? Time will show. So at this point, I would say, okay, they will continue raising rates in July. I think it might come out, yes, because in July at the moment, what do we have here? 92.4. Okay, so yeah, most likely they will raise it, you know, and then we'll have to just go from there. I think that they will reach their target of 2%, but then I think that they will surpass that and will quickly reach 0 or something like that. So, but again, what do I know? We'll see. At this point, from the technical perspective, I would say looking at the picture here, the technical picture on the S&P 500. Look, we rebounded from this territory and we're now pushing back up. So as I said to you before, I need to see a push above the 4,500 territory in order to go further north. At this point, I'm just observing the price action. I'm not really doing anything because at the end, yes, it's pushing higher, great, but will it clear this area? Okay, if it clears, great, I'll go further north. If it doesn't, if it gives me a false breakout, maybe I'll consider a bit of a decline back down. But at this point, I think everybody's kind of doing that, playing the waiting game. So yeah, and again, it's going to be very interesting to see if actually the CPIs today will do anything. Will the market just, let's say, for example, in indices, will these indices just, okay, they will react for sure, but will they just remain somewhere around here, maybe moving sideways all the way up until this 26th of July? Hey, that's a good question. We'll have to wait and see. We can only, in a way, we don't have the crystal ball, unfortunately. I keep on saying this, so almost in every meeting of ours here, but we can what we can do is we can react. So we can react to the news that comes out. So we will try to approach it logically. The Dow Jones Industrial Average looking good, looking very, very good. I talked about this on Monday, and I said to you, look, keep your eyes on this territory right here. If it holds, nice rebound here could be possible. Talk about a rebound. This is wonderful. This is like picture perfect descending triangle pattern, because look, we are approaching the downside resistance line here, which is the upper side of that descending triangle pattern. We failed to break through the lower side of it as well. So in other words, for now, I am keeping a close eye on this territory, this downside line. This, by the way, this upside line can go away, no longer needed. But now all eyes are on this zone, this downside line, and if that gets cleared, then yes, more buyers could join in. NZDUSD, which is Nasdaq that we have here, Nasdaq futures, they're pushing back to the upside as well. But look, the same game plan remains for me. I need to see a clearance of this territory in order to go higher. So until I get that, I'm just kind of observing the price action. For the downside, I need to see a drop below this 14,850 territory. If that gets cleared, then yes, I will get a little bit more comfortable with lower levels. And as you can see, I don't have a specific level, basically because I'm keeping an eye on the 50-day EMA as well. If we do clear this territory, we might also fall below the 50-day EMA, and the next target will be this 100-day EMA, wherever is going to be. If it's going to be around 14,100, this is what I'm going to be aiming for. If it's going to be maybe a little bit higher, yeah, whatever. I'm just going to aim for that 100-day EMA, and then I'll take it from there. Of course, I really do like this little hurdle here. Let me just put this on the chart. There we go. This one, oh, too fat. There we go. This one right there, 14,250 zone. I really like that one. And if that gets, if we clear this territory right here, then yes, maybe this could be a nice good target. Look, I'll leave this one on the chart here for now. We'll see how this is going to play out, if it's going to work out or not. The German index, DAX, beautiful recovery, rebound here from this lower side of the rising wedge. And if you remember, I keep on saying all the time, as long as we remain inside a rising wedge, although it is considered to be a bearish pattern, still the move could still be to the upside as long as we remain inside the pattern. So at the moment, yep, this is exactly what's happening. We're moving higher. I told you about this hurdle here, the 15,834. I said that if we pop and stay above it, I'll go further north, initially aiming for the 50-day EMA. So part of it is working out. And then if that gets cleared, the downside resistance line, this is what I'm going to be aiming for. This is the drawn from the high of the 16th of June. And yeah, if we do clear the 50, then I'm aiming for this downside line. Now then, in terms of the downside, if we clear the lower side of this rising wedge, then yes, I will consider a move lower. And if we do drop below the 15,635 territory right here, then yes, potentially more sellers could join in, and we could aim for that 200-day EMA. That's my game plan for the downside. For now, I am just taking it slowly. US dollar, of course, something that everybody's going to be keeping a close eye on. So the US dollar today is the one to watch. And look, for now, everything's working according to the plan. Because again, I said to you yesterday that if we do drop and stay below the 101.49 territory, I'm aiming lower. My next target here is the 100.58. Now, that's my ideal scenario. As I can see right now, there is a potential for this hurdle here. Okay, the 101 zone. Okay, that's actually fine, because if this 101 territory surrenders, and if we do break below it, then yes, more sellers could join in here, and we could see a drift further south. So at this point, long story short, I would say if we do drop below the 100 zone, then yes, more sellers could, step in here, and we could see a move lower. In terms of the upside, I would say a push above the 101.49 territory right here may attract more buyers here, and yes, we could consider a move maybe back to the upside. So in other words, if you're looking for some higher levels, a push above the 101.49 territory is required here. If you're looking for some downside, for some further downside, let's say you missed this move here lower, then yes, drop below the 101 territory may kind of attract more sellers into the game. Before we go further, as always, I keep forgetting, good morning, everyone, into the chat room. Yep, there we go. Good morning, everyone. Let it be there. So yeah, good morning to everybody who's joining in right now as well. So yep, I hope everybody's having a wonderful start of Wednesday, because it could be quite an interesting one today. Gold is working out beautifully. Look, I've mentioned this yesterday. If you remember, I've talked about gold, and I said to you that I'm keeping an eye on this 1931 territory. If we clear it, then it's 1933. If we clear it, then it's 1935. If we clear it, then it's this downside resistance line, which we've managed to reach perfectly. So, mission accomplished. Fantastic. What's next? Well, next is, of course, the break of this downside line, which we are already breaking. But look, I would put it this way. If we fall back below the 1931 territory here, I'm considering a move back to this 200-day EMA. If we push above the remaining EMAs here, the 100 and the 50, and we stay above those, not only like a false breakout, but also like a nice decent up move here. If we stay above it, then yes, I'm aiming for some higher levels then. This is my ideal scenario, 1983-85, but there are a bunch of levels here which I'm going to pick up on if we do that move. So yeah, for now, it's a very interesting one, and I think, don't get me wrong, this might stay like this all the way up until the numbers come out. So just be careful and cautious. Have your stop losses in place. Risk only what you can afford to lose, guys, and everything will be fine. And of course, don't overtrade. That's very, very important for your psychology. So yeah, but in general, the short-term outlook seems to be a little bit more on the bullish side. But okay, it comes in line with the idea of the dollar sliding further. If the dollar does that, then yes, we could see a move higher here on gold. But of course, anything can happen. I mean, such days, it could drift the other way as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. Silver, similar story. We were breaking this downside line, but we are struggling with this hurdle, this 23.31 zone. 32 zone. I talked about this. Also, the 50 and the 100-day EMA are providing good resistance. So if we get a clearance of that one, then yes, I will go higher towards that 23.83 territory, and then we'll take it from there. So for the downside, a move back below the below the 200-day EMA. That's what I would need to see here in the short run in order to consider some lower levels. So yep, that's the game plan here. If we do drop back below the 200-day EMA right here, which is approximately around the 123.0605 area, something like that. If we do fall back below it, then yes, more sellers could join in. But at this point, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the upside. Oh, my back kind of hurts a little bit, but anyway. So oil. There we go. There we go. Beautiful hold up around here, and actually a little bit higher above this. So look, I said to you yesterday that as long as we stay above this 100-day EMA, I'm leaning towards the upside. And there we go. We are going higher. And the question is now, can we reach my other target? My other target is the 200-day EMA. That's what I'm going to be aiming for, as long as we stay above the 74.73 territory, which is the high of the 24th of May. Not this one. This is a Sunday candle on my chart here. That's why I'm not taking it. But this one right here, this instead. So if we continue to trade above it, great. I'll go further north. Ethereum. Look, it's a little bit of a mess. I need to remove everything and start fresh. Well, the first thing I want to look at here is the fact that we are still trading above all of the EMAs, and that's positive. We're also another positive, another something to support the positiveness is this upside line, which is drawn from the low, the 22nd of November, which is providing fantastic support so far. Now then, if you want to draw a downside line from here to here, okay, you can do that, but just remember that it's very tentative. I mean, it doesn't really carry much significance, I believe so, but that's why I'm not having it on my chart at this point. Look, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but again, depending on how it's moving, that's something that I look at all the time. So if it's moving in a certain way, then yes, maybe when trying to find some sort of logic, then you look into something like this. But at this point, I'm not really liking it because, again, it's not really carrying much significance, I believe. So this 1977 territory, that's what I'm going to be keeping a close eye on. That's the current highest point of July. If we clear that one, then yes, potentially more buyers could join in. We could aim for this psychological 2000 territory, 2020 zone, or maybe even this 2142 territory, which is the current highest point of this year. But in all that, for all that to happen, break above this barrier is needed above the current highest point of July. For the downside, well, what I can do here is I can do this. And some of you might say, hey, Darius, but what about if it's maybe forming a nice head and shoulders pattern? Well, with the left shoulder being here, the head, and now we're forming the right shoulder, that means that we could, break lower. Yeah, honestly, anything can happen, seriously. But that's why we examine all the possible scenarios. We try to do that. We try to see if we can, squeeze something out of it. But in general, if we do fall below this potential neckline, we would also fall below the 100-day EMA. So either way, it's kind of opening the door towards my 200-day EMA, because that's going to be my next target. So simple as that. But at this point, look, I'm just waiting for clearance of one of these levels, so one of these lines, and then yeah, we could do something about it. Bitcoin Cash, so far so good within the falling wedge pattern, which according to all the TA rules tends to break to the upside, but a confirmation break of the upper side is still needed. So until then, yeah, we're observing, yeah, it could still drift lower, don't get me wrong. As I said before, while we're in the wedge, we'll move in the direction of the, the pointer. Let's say if it's a falling wedge, then we'll move lower. If it's a rising wedge, we'll move higher inside with it while we're inside. Once we start exiting it, that's when the game changes. So at this point, we're very close to the upper side here. Don't get me wrong; it's kind of crying for a an up move here, but will that happen? We'll have to wait and see, guys. Litecoin, again, a quick update on Litecoin. So far, so good. We're bouncing back up, and we're currently, I think this needs to go away. This is a little bit in the way here, and I think maybe this could actually be a better level to watch, the 98.61. So in other words, if you're looking for some higher areas, then probably wait for a break, at least wait for a break of this downside line. So if you fail to capture this, let's say, rebound here, okay, that's fine. Don't worry. Like, I mean, there will be some opportunities still. And like I said, one of these. So at this point, look, I'm still kind of cautiously bullish because I'm aiming for the upside, but only up until here, this downside resistance line. If we clear that, then yes, more buyers could join in. But if we do start falling below this upside line, below this downside line, and that's where, I'm going to start getting more comfortable with lower levels, because at the same time we would fall below the 50-day EMA. AUDUSD. So there we go. Finally popping nicely to the upside. I talked about this, guys, and look at this. One of my targets got reached. So and beautiful test of these levels that I was talking about. Great. I'm very, very happy. So yes, we cleared this territory and we pushed higher. We tested the 0.6720, the 0.6740. And yeah, we tested the 200-day EMA as well. So at this point, if you want to go higher, then I would say you need to wait for a push above the 0.6740 territory right here. If that gets cleared, great, more buyers could join in, and we could aim for that 0.6806 zone. For the downside, a push back below this territory, below the 0.67 zone right here, that's from where I will start considering some lower areas. So yep, that's the game plan. Let's wait and see. But at the moment, the fact that we broke this highlighted zone right here and we stayed above it, that kind of increases the chances for a further move north. But if you're not comfortable with that, then yes, wait for at least a push above the 200-day EMA. AUDJPY. So fantastic move, continues to slide, but this is very interesting that the indices are pushing higher, but the yen buying is still on. So everybody's still buying the yen. It seems like nobody's believing the rebounds that we're having right now in the indices. That's interesting. That's very interesting. So, okay, let's see if this is going to work out or not. But at this point, I would say, it's something it's something to watch here on the indices. So, again, if these suddenly reverse back down, maybe this could, present itself with a nice opportunity, and we could, excuse me. So far, look, on the AUDJPY, it's doing what I asked it to do. Specifically I asked it to do to break here and go towards this upside line. At the moment we're doing that. Great, wonderful. Let's see if we can rebound from this upside line. And yeah, like I said, this is my target. I'm sticking to it, and then I'm gonna wait and see. I'm gonna see if this is gonna rebound or not. Now, AUDNZD, looking at the picture here. Okay, RBNZ today came out with the no rate hike. So they kept the interest rate the same at 5.5. So yep, as expected. This in a way didn't. I think here the Australian dollar still remained the stronger one and didn't really sparkle well with the NZD bulls. So yeah, the interest rate stayed the same. But I'll get to other NZD pairs where the NZD is the base currency. I'll get into those in a bit. But here, look, I talked about this yesterday. I said to you that if we do pop above the 1.08 territory, I'll go higher towards my EMAs. Boom, fantastic move here, fantastic. And there we go. We got that up move here. So now the question is, what's next? Well, first of all, I want to get rid of this downside line. No longer needed. What I'm going to do here right now is, if I want to go lower, a drop below the 1.0729 territory would be needed for me here. For the upside, again, I need to see a push above the 1.08 territory right here, and then, yes, I'm going to aim for slightly higher levels. NZDUSD. So there we go. So this one is pushing higher just because the US dollar is on the weaker side. So not really, not much strength here. But in general, yes, it's winning against the US dollar so far. So that's okay. That's good for the New Zealand dollar. But okay, in an extent, of course. But so what can we do next here? So first of all, this 0.6220 territory, I spoke about that area. And I said to you that if we do push above it, I will go higher. And at the moment, we did push above it, but we're now kind of failing, and we're kind of trying to move back down. Okay, let's see if this is going to work in this way. If we're going to, kind of remain below this hurdle. If we remain below this hurdle, this raises concerns. If we, for the bulls, if we remain above this hurdle, then there is kind of more, more for the bulls to stick to, and maybe this will give that little positivity here. So at this point, you can see that the bulls are fighting hard, and let's see if we can stay above this hurdle. In general, if we can stay above the 200-day EMA. If we start falling back below the 200-day EMA, then yes, I will consider a bit of a retracement back down here. NZDCHF, so this one had a push higher, and look, I need to remove everything. I need to start fresh. So basically, as you can see clearly here right now, we are forming something of a descending triangle pattern. So we have a downside line here, and we have a horizontal line which we can draw here. So basically, this is quite important, guys. Again, I do look at these, and I said I've expressed my skepticism about how they recently started working, all these ascending and descending triangles, but again, I cannot exclude this idea. I cannot exclude this theory or this rule. And if we do break the lower side, okay, great for the bears. We could go further north. At the moment, we're holding here. I don't want to rush into anything, guys, yet, so I'm just observing this because, again, if it starts rebounding back up, like, for example, in the Dow here, where we also have, this descending triangle, maybe it's just still forming it. Maybe the same story is in here in NZDCHF. Maybe it's still forming. Maybe it'll go back up here, test the upper side of the triangle, and then go back down. So just kind of do not exclude that scenario. USDJPY, beautiful, guys, beautiful. Honestly, look at this decline. And look, I talked about this, and I said to you that if we do fall below the 50-day EMA, I'm aiming for the 100-day EMA right here. So far, so good. Why I'm also aiming for this territory? Because, and this is where some of you are already probably seeing this, but this hurdle here, this 138.75, good area of resistance, support with its little violations, but overall kind of it's stuck. So this is my target. This is going to be my target. This is what I'm aiming for. And then I'm going to pause because maybe we'll have a nice little rebound here. Maybe we'll have a formation of a head and shoulders pattern. Who knows? Maybe we have our left head here, the big head here, and maybe we'll form the right shoulder later on. But at this point, guys, I am aiming for that territory, this 138.75. And then, yes, I'm going to take it from there. I believe that we could see a stall here. Maybe this is something that I really want to believe in, but again, I want to see if this is going to work out or not, because at this point, look, it seems logical. Let's wait and see for it. I mean, let's see if we can reach this hurdle and we can stall here. If by any chance this somehow reverses back up, for me to consider, like, let's say higher levels here, I need to see a push back above the 141 territory, and then yes, I will aim for some higher levels. USDCHF. So we broke the other side, the lower side of the wider this range here. So okay, great. Look, in general, everything's working out nicely. I was saying that I'm going to aim for this 0.8757 territory. So far, so good. I'm leaning towards that, and then I'm going to take it from there, guys. Yes, we do have some lower levels here, but this is quite an important area to watch. Lowest point of January of 2021. In general, lowest point of 2021. Very important target. We could see a hold up here somewhere. So, and everything's coming in line in general with the idea here with the US dollar here. Maybe this could be seen as also like an important area of support. Also with the USDJPY, also we're approaching this key area of support. So, hey, maybe that's the same case here with the USDCHF. So let's wait and see, guys. USDCAD. There we go. Of course, stronger oil helping the Canadian dollar against the US dollar here. And look, mission accomplished. I've reached my target. Great, 1.32 zone. Reached it. Perfect. I said to you that if we do fall below the 1.3270, I'm going to aim lower here. And at this point, yes, we did our best. So now, if we do fall below the 1.32 territory, I'll go further south. Simple as that. Honestly, very simple approach here. I'm going to remove this upside line, no longer needed. Very simple approach. So if you're looking for some higher levels, then maybe this here is something to keep an eye on. And if we do pop back above the 1.3270, then yes, I will go a little bit to the upside here, at least towards my EMAs. GBPJPY, mission accomplished as well. Look, it's never the exact level or territory or something. It's just near that area, near that hurdle. So at this point, look, I will take it as a success. We reached my almost reached my upside line. Maybe we'll still do that, but if you're still in a position here, for example, and if you're in profit, I would take profit here. I mean, this maybe won't reach it exactly. Maybe it'll rebound back up, you know, here. But in general, look, if the yen is going to continue attracting buying interest, then maybe this actually could go further south. So just if you want to gamble it, you know, okay, you can do that, but or you can take your profits here, see what's happening here, maybe, you know, and then maybe decide if this gets broken, maybe then you can enter or something like that. But as I said before, always have your stop loss in place, guys. I mean, risk only what you can afford to lose, because nothing is guaranteed, not even my analysis here. But so nothing is guaranteed, so just kind of keep that in mind. If we do break the upside line and we do fall below this hurdle, this 179.93 territory, then yes, great, I'll go a little bit lower. GBPUSD. So yeah, look, by the way, I'm flying for these instruments just because I have a lot of them, and to be honest, some of them are repeating some stuff that I've already covered. So in order not to kind of repeat myself, but I said to you yesterday that I will be looking at the instruments, the same instruments this week. It seems like every day they have something to tell, like a new story to tell. So by the way, I can remember the person who the nickname that was mentioning yesterday the pound pair. If you're in this video, I don't know, just say hi, honestly, like, because we talked about this GBPUSD yesterday, and look, I said to you that I am aiming for that psychological 130 zone, and you can see the logic here, right? I mean, we stayed above this hurdle. We stayed above this 1.2848. It was an important one to break, and there we go. We're leaning now. I'm leaning towards this 1.30 zone. I will aim for that one for now, and then I will just take it from there. I'll see what it wants to do after. If it's going to break it, great. If it's not going to break it, also great. Everything's great, honestly. We can just, like I said, take advantage of everything. But at this point, look, yes, it's pushing higher. Maybe we could start drawing some sort of like a rising channels here where something like this. Yeah, could be the case, but I think this is a little bit overdoing it. So look, let's go slowly, step by step for now. If we do fall back below the 1.2848 zone, I will lean towards the downside. While we're here, I'm leaning towards the 1.30 territory. That's it, period. GBPCAD, also good result, fantastic. Look, mission accomplished here, because I talked about this previously. I picked up on this pair before, and I said to you that if we do remain above this upside line or this 1.6979 territory somewhere, then yes, I will continue targeting the upside, where my next target is the highest point of May of 2023, this May. Previously it was actually the highest point of this year, because look, we had a little bit of overshoot here, and the question now here for me is, will we break that? Will we be able to push kind of further north here? And if we do, then yes, great, more buyers could join in, and we could see, you know, a push here further to the upside. But at this point, let's go slowly. Let's not rush into anything. And that's why at this point, like I said, it is tempting, but given that we already had quite a decent up move here, maybe at some point a bit of retracement could be possible here. But again, for me to consider some lower levels, I need to see a break below this upside line. EURJPY, beautiful, honestly, look at this, 23.6 violation. Fantastic. I said to you that if we do drop below this, my next target is a 38.2 tick. Then I said to you, if that gets cleared, my next target is the 50% retracement here on the Fibonacci, which is coinciding perfectly with my 50-day EMA. Not tick yet. I really hope to see a fantastic hold up here. But of course, don't get me wrong, maybe I'm a little bit on the bias side, but the market doesn't always do what I want it to do. But so far it is working out perfectly. So I'm quite happy with this. And look, if that gets cleared, if somehow by any chance this gets cleared, then the next target is the 61.8. That's it. And you can see here I don't have any levels. I just have the Fibonacci on this one right now. So far it's working. It's doing a good job. Why to to change it? Once it stops working, then I'll change it, and then I'll pick up on something else. But at this point, yes, everything's working perfectly, and I'm aiming for that 50% retracement on the Fibonacci together with the 50-day EMA. And on my chart here, it's roughly around the 153.33 territory. EURCHF, beautiful move yesterday to the downside. Look at this. I talked about this and I said to you that if we stay below this upside line, I am leaning towards the downside. Look at this beautiful move. There we go. Boom. Fantastic. Mission accomplished. Now let's examine the other scenario. So the other scenario is here that if we do start clearing this territory right here, then yes, I will get a little bit more excited with the downside and I'll go further south. So if you've managed to stick to this idea, great, congratulations, you're doing quite well. And I said to you that if we break this upside line, there is a greater chance to go lower, and there we go, we moved it, we moved lower. Now the question is, can we go further south? But for that I need to see a violation of this zone, and if that gets cleared, then I'll aim for this territory only, the 0.9643. I know it's not far, but hey, I'm going slowly on this. I'm not rushing into anything, and that's why I do have lower levels, don't get me wrong, but at this point, I'm just going to stick to this. So let me just make the arrow smaller here. So at the moment, I'm just going to stick to that 0.9643 if we do fall below the 0.9672 territory right here, which currently is providing good support. So that's why I'm not rushing into further declines. Maybe we'll have a rebound. Maybe we'll push back up a little, who knows. So just at the moment, I would say this way, that if this somehow continues to provide that support, then yes, maybe a nice, beautiful rebound back up could be possible. And finally, EURUSD, there we go, continues to push higher. We pushed above this hurdle. We stayed above it, this 1.1012. So yeah, still leaning towards the upside. But look, if I missed this already, so I would say I'm gonna wait for the data to come out, see what's gonna happen there. If by any chance we start falling back below this 1.1012 territory, then yeah, maybe a bit of a retracement here back down could be possible. However, if we stay above this hurdle, then my next target is the 1.1095, or in general the 1.11 level. So guys, this was a very quick analysis of a lot of instruments here. And look, to be honest, I wanted to go through them quickly just because, like I said, some of them are maybe I've already picked up on them, and some analysis is still valid. So for now, at this point, I'm just observing the price action on some, not all. But yep, let's see how all this is going to play out today. Keep your eyes on the data. Check out the economic calendar to see when the U.S. data is coming out on in your time zone. So yep, guys, but I hope you found this useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, your views, your comments, your rockets, everything always help me. These always help me, so thank you very much for that. If you want to catch me tomorrow morning, where we're gonna have a recap of some of these instruments, probably most of these instruments, and some maybe new ones, we'll see. Depends if there is going to be an interesting one somewhere else, but we'll recap that. And yeah, I hope you'll have a fantastic trading day today. Stay safe, have your stop losses in place, and risk only what you can afford to lose. That's it, and don't overtrade. Yeah, don't overtrade as well. So thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Hey there, thank you very much for watching this one till the end. I really appreciate that. So like this video, we speculate your next mouse movement will be towards the subscribe button.